have my own YouTube channel that I've got here, and I'm going to be putting some more information on that. So just going to show you my next slide, 5G awareness. You can look this up, and this is our recent Totnes event where we had 3 speakers, myself, Graham Downing and Mark Steele, talking about 5G, and Brian Gerrish and some others, which I'm in the process of uploading. Also the In Power movement is something to look into. Here's the beginning of my research with Extinction Rebellion. So you've got Gail Bradbrook, and she's the founder of Extinction Rebellion.
When did she found it?
That's a good question. Relatively recently.
Right.
I've only been looking into this over the last couple of days.
Yeah.
But she's basically the founder, or online, this is what I found, that she started up Extinction Rebellion. And she also attended the big demonstration in London where they closed several bridges. They stopped transport getting across. They caused a lot of chaos. And it happened on the same day as a fracking event where there was a lock-on. So, of course, they're bringing attention away from that. But, yeah, they have a presence in Totnes. And they're promoting, obviously, climate change as being man-made, as being an imminent catastrophe, which is a massive distraction from 5G.
Right, okay. Yeah, and we know that 5G is very real, and of course we know that man-made climate change is, well, suspect to say the least.
That's right.
The hockey stick graph,
Okay.
you know, where you've got the temperature change has only been, what's it, half a degree in the last
That's right.
17, 18 years,
Yeah.
according to Lord Christopher Monckton.
That's right, yeah.
So what sort of climate change are we actually having? You know, we did have a hot summer. We've just had a few very cold days.
Yeah, exactly. This is
Climate's always changing.
It is, yeah. 1,000 years ago, we actually had hotter temperatures than we do today. And during the post-World War II boom, you had a decrease in temperatures. So if that was due to CO2 emissions, why would that be happening? So it just doesn't make sense. So, you know,
It's
I recommend
distracting people away from, as you say,
exactly
5G, the real threat.
This is it. This is it, exactly. So, you know, I recommend every friend would watch, anybody out there, watch the Global Warming Swindle, which breaks it down very, very well. It's just over an hour. It's got a lot of interviews with scientists. And then there's another YouTube here, which is Global Warming, over 31,000 scientists saying no to the alarm. 9,000 of those scientists have PhDs.
Of course, the thing is with science is that if they want to get paid by the government, they have to produce the result that the government wants them to produce.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. So there's a lot of fake science now, which is controlled, obviously supported by lobbies, people lying for lots of money, and we've got to stick to the truth and you know, to what matters, which I think is primarily 5G and what's going on with that.
Right, John. So is there anything else you'd like the audience to know tonight?
Sure. So you've got Gail Bradbrook. You can look her up on LinkedIn, and you can see there that she's a director of Citizens Online.
Oh, she's not far from me.
Oh, right. How about that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
So she's promoting, Citizens Online is a charity that's promoting the rollout of more and more technology, basically, and saying that, okay, you know, areas where vulnerable people, such as disabled people or rural communities that don't have this technology, let's fill this gap. You know, how many people are not using smartphones and not connected with Wi-Fi, etc. Whereas actually that technology is harming us, but again, there's more suppression of the evidence. The telecommunications industry is now more powerful than the pharmaceutical industry.
Really?
So yes, it has
No,
more
I thought
wealth
with the
worldwide.
case with David Noakes recently,
Right.
and Big Pharma, I thought Big Pharma was the big one.
No, I've come to learn that telecommunications industry is now number one, but Big Pharma, again, huge.
Yeah, it is
So,
huge, yeah.
You know, yeah.
Very contentious.
That's right, that's right.
And of course, you know, you've been recommending essential oils, which must be taking some money away from Big Pharma.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I mean, the company I use, the doTERRA, they're building medical clinics in the United States where they're using essential oils in their practice. And I think that's a really nice thing. They work with the farmers, so they don't use middlemen. Their oils are pure. And I've had, you know, dozens of friends now experience the medicinal benefits of them. And just really glad to get them out there.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah.
So going back to Gail Bradbrook.
So yeah, the Citizens Online also works with a broadband stakeholder group, which is tackling 5G barriers. So they're looking at all the sort of barriers that 5G is up against, all the sort of issues, and how to tackle those issues so that 5G can be rolled out as quickly as possible.
Right.
Then you've got some of the text. They have their sample switch report, and it talks here about reaching people at risk of exclusion, requiring knowledge about where they are, what they need, and insight into their preferences and behaviors. And this all starts to sound a little bit 1984, finding out what people are doing, data gathering. And it seems to be more and more in our faces, this technology, a real attack on privacy. So I think it's really important to look into some of these charities that some of these people who are involved in, like Extinction Rebellion, see what else they're doing. People need to do more research, not just let their emotions get manipulated and trust everything that they see on TV.
Well, I mean, they're sort of similar to Greenpeace. They
Right.
have, people are immediately attracted to them, but then you've got to go underneath the surface and find out who's funding these organisations and what's their real agenda.
Exactly. And one of the founders of Greenpeace has now come out against what they're doing and was on the documentary about global warming and the scientists that were producing all the evidence that actually it's always been happening, climate change, So we've just got to really have critical thinking skills, and I think that's essential. People, when they bring up their kids, they bring them up to be critical thinkers and to question everything, and then that way proper research is done.
There's no doubt about it. 5G is a killer, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely. And I've got another slide here. It just talks about the way that Citizens Online, the approach that it's taking about those who remain offline are more likely to be more socially excluded, resistant to new technology, requiring a sophisticated program of intervention and support in order to provide assistance and encouragement. So it just sounds very sort of invasive, and then there you've got the little chart showing about what sort of percentage of households don't have a smartphone or PC, who are not doing online grocery shopping. And then, of course, grocery shopping, it's a way to get out. It's a way to meet your local grocery store staff and be a part of the community. And, of course, all of this technology encouraging people to stay at home, come away from their community. So
I like to go out shopping.
Yeah, exactly.
You want to
right?
touch your fruit and veg, don't you?
Of course you do.
If
yeah,
you've
definitely.
got the time to do it,
of course,
you want to make sure, because otherwise, if you start sending food back,
yeah.
then it actually is more time consuming in the end, isn't it?
That's right. It is.
And
yeah,
I mean, this is the ideal time to talk to the person behind you in the queue and tell them about the dangers of 5G.
Right, which is what I always do when I'm at the supermarket. When I've done my shopping, I say, "Oh, by the way, did you know that smart meters cause cancer? They cause damage to the blood cells in your body." Or I just say, "Check out, my channel, 5G awareness. Please look up about smart meters and 5G." I try and get the word out when I'm calling my building society, when I'm making a call online or to someone I haven't met before. I just try and wake up that extra person if I have the opportunity. And I think if we all did that, we then encourage even more of a movement against this. And I think we have a chance because smart meter take-up is really slow in the UK. A lot of people are resisting the technology.
Thankfully.
Exactly.
You see, in America, they actually force you to have a smart meter, or you have to pay to have it removed.
Yeah.
Whereas here at the moment, you actually have to come out of your comfort zone and specify you want one, unless you live in housing association properties, for example, where there's been a general rollout by the landlord.
That's right.
But I've certainly been telling people, get your research done. But smart meters, I can't see them being a good idea.
No, me too. And then you can look at who's funding this group, Citizens Online. They're getting funded by the big lottery fund. And then there's lots of evidence showing that this technology is dangerous. You've got this international appeal, scientists calling for protection from non-ionizing electromagnetic field exposure. 230 scientists have petitioned the World Health Organization. It's being ignored.
Yeah.
And again, this is going back to the power of the lobbies and the clout that they have, and this is why we've got to keep going and talking about it. This is all we can do.
Yeah.
So
I mean, at one time we used to all
yeah,
go to the pubs and
Right.
talk to people, but of course
That's
that
right.
seems to be dying out. Lots and lots of pubs are closing.
it does. And
People
you,
can't
yeah.
afford that sort of thing anymore.
No, you've got a lot of independent pubs that are being taken over, and you know you've got Weatherspoons that's grown extremely large, and they're all showing the BBC, BBC News. You know, we've got to look into alternative media more, like
Well, I
this
just
show.
wish Tim Martin would talk about military
Right.
unification.
Exactly.
Why is he
yeah.
just talking about business all the time and the price of fish?
Indeed. This is
There's
the thing.
more to life than the price of fish, though it is very important.
Yeah, exactly.
But
And,
there's
you
other
know,
things to be talking about.
That's it.
Yeah.
Exactly. And Ian Crane did an amazing job with. He supported Mark Steele at his court case
That's
there,
right,
where
yeah.
the Gateshead Council were trying to bring in an injunction against Mark. And Mark's an upstanding gentleman. He's got a great family, and he's really looking out for the interests of humanity. And I was there at the court case. There were 40 people, and the judge came out in favour of common sense in the end and supported Mark.
The
And,
battle's not over yet, then.
It's not. It's not. We've got
And
to
it's not
keep-
been discussed in Parliament.
No, it hasn't.
And Lloyds
Yeah.
of London have excluded the impact of 5G on our health. That
Right.
says it all. It
That's
really
it.
does.
Exactly. You know.
Well, John, thank you so much
Yeah.
for showing what you're up to.
Okay.
And I look forward to
Yeah.
hearing your talk
Sure.
tomorrow.
Great. One more recommendation: if everybody can check out the In Power movement on YouTube. That's INPOWER movement.
And what will they find?
They're constructing notices of liability that can be written directly to CEOs and councillors to hold them liable for harm for 5G and smart meters. And a group of us are studying up on that in Totnes now, and we're hoping to hold an event on that. So if everybody could watch the first episode, they seem to be doing great work.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
And for the viewers back home, John is single. So there we
Mhm.
go. Got that
Yeah.
plug in. Thank you so much, John.
All right. Thank you so much, Caroline.
Thank you. And
Thank
I'll
you.
look forward to your speech tomorrow.
Definitely. Thanks.
And to everybody at home, thank you so much for listening. This has been a Christmas special 2018. I'm Caroline Stevens. I'm the presenter of Stepping Stones to Awareness and look forward to seeing you again soon. Goodbye.